بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. So now we're moving on to those nouns which don't govern like a fi'l. They're isms, they're amil, but they don't govern like a verb. They govern like they have their own governance patterns. Okay? So we had the ism, the ism amil, ism ghayr amil. Then we had the ta'malu fil ismi and ta'malu fil fi'l. We completed those nouns that are really verbal meanings. They either have a verbal meaning because they're mushtaq or as a masdar or as ismul fi'l, etc. etc. Now we're going on to they don't govern because of it resembling a verb. They have their own governance system. So al-qism al-thani, the second type of nouns which govern other nouns are those which do not behave like a verb. They have their own system. There are two types. Al-awwalu al-darbu al-awwalu ismul mudafu. The first is the mudaf. The ismul mudaf, what does it do? فَهُوَ يَجُرُّ الْمُضَافَ إِلَيْهِ. It makes a mudafun ilayh what? Majroor. That's very simple from sughra. I'm not going to explain that. Nahw Ramadan, shahrul Quran. So shahru is mudaf, al-Quran is mudaf ilayh. This is the amil that governs that. That's from sughra, nothing to explain in here. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. So before, there's one mas'ala here that we need to clarify. Let's look at this mudaf ilayh structure. That is wrong. It's shahru Ramadan. What's supposed to be? Shahru Ramadan? No. Okay? So we have here shahru Ramadan. If you look at this, we have two words. One is a mudaf, one is a mudaf ilayh. And in this example, we have the word Ramadan being attributed to the month. Shahru Ramadan, the month of Ramadan. Yes? Or another example we could have here is, for example, let's say we have here Kitabu Fatima. Probably even an easy example. Kitabu Fatimata. The book of Fatima. So we have two items, Kitab and Fatima. One is being linked to the other. Is that clear? That's what we've done in basics. Then we have another structure. We have Sawmul Muslimin. Now, Sawma yasumu sawman. Sawm is a masdar. So we have here fasting. Right? Fasting. Now, Sawmul Muslimin, if you look at this structure of Sawmul Muslimin, what do we see? That is mudaf ilayh. No alif lam, no tanween. So it's mudaf. And al-Muslimin is a majroor state, so it's mudaf ilayh. But what we find is that in this structure, this is basically just two nouns. This is, if you look at it, this is a noun. This is a noun. Like when I say noun, it's like a pure noun. Yes, items, either physical or abstract. But in Sawmul Muslimin, if you look at it, it is mudaf ilayh. But because the Sawm is a shibhul fa'il. What is Sawm? It's shibhul fa'il. It's a masdar. It's a shibhul fa'il, it's a masdar. And the mudaf ilayh is one of the ma'amul of that shibhul fa'il. Do you understand? So this mudaf ilayh structure is a bit different. It is mudaf ilayh in terms of I'rab, but the meaning is not that the Muslims own the fasting. It's that they're the ones doing the fasting. Another example, Sawmu Ramadan. Fasting, how do you translate Sawmu Ramadan? What would you add in here in translation? Fasting? Okay. Fasting? One fasting, I didn't hear you. Fasting? Fasting in. Why is the in coming in? Because now the Ramadan is a maf'ul fi of the masdar. So again, it's not that Ramadan is being owned by Sawm and its attribution. It's just, that's a maf'ul fihi. Do you understand? The example we had previously, we had, for example, Inna Allaha Jami'un Nas. Allah is going to gather the people day of Qiyamah. So when you have Jami'un Nas, it's mudaf ilayh. But the Nas is not the Kitabul Rajuli and the Nas own the Jami'. Jami' is not something to own. That's the Ismul Fa'il in the meaning of a verb. You see the differences between the two mudaf ilayh? Yes? So in the bottom ones, the bottom two, we'll find that it's not like ownership, attribution. It is basically what we mentioned is Ismul Amil. It's a Shibhul Fa'il. Either the Masdar or the Mushtaqat, Ismul Fa'il, Ism Maf'ul, Sifat Mushabbah to Ismul Fa'il, Ismul Mubalagha to Tafdeel. And they are becoming mudaf to one of the Ma'mul, one of the Maf'ul or Fa'il Maf'ul Bihi. Do you understand? So if you look at it here, this gives the meaning of Idafa. The first one. It has the meaning of Idafa. Do these meaning ownership? Do the second two have the meaning of Idafa? That it shows ownership. that the jami is owned by the nas. That doesn't even make sense because jami is not even a thing. It's a verb more or less in terms of meaning. Som is a masdar, fasting. So do these bottom two have the meaning of idafa? No, they don't. So therefore, we say, okay, let's call this one إضافة معنوية. The إضافة which has the meaning of إضافة. Now they all have إضافة, they're all إضافة in لفظي, they're all structural. So in لفظية, we say structural. Structural. What are we going to call إضافة لفظية? Structural إضافة. You following? So the إضافة is structural, not in meaning. So this is إضافة لفظية and إضافة معنوية. This is only إضافة لفظية. So we said, okay, now we need to name these. We can call this one إضافة لفظية. Well, these two the same thing basically. So these are both the same. So this type of إضافة, where we have a شبه الفعل مضاف to one of its معمول, فاعل مفعول به. We call that إضافة لفظية. And the top one, we've got two choices. We can call it إضافة لفظية ومعنوية. That's a bit too long. And because إضافة لفظية is automatically in a structure, we're simply going to call it what? إضافة معنوية. So it's إضافة لفظية and معنوية, but we don't really need to add in. So basically we could say here, so the name of this is إضافة معنوية and the name is called إضافة لفظية. But really if you wanted to say, well, what technically you can call it, this is really إضافة لفظية ومعنوية. Yes? But now what do? We say, let's forget calling it إضافة لفظية because that's known anyways. Once it's إضافة, it has to be إضافة لفظية. And this, if you want to look at it, rethink it, this is basically إضافة لفظية فقط. That's what it really means. إضافة لفظية فقط. It's not معنوية in there. فقط. Do you understand? When we're naming them, we will say, okay, we will call this إضافة لفظية معنوية and إضافة لفظية. We wouldn't use these two words. But that's what they imply. Do you understand the difference between إضافة لفظية and إضافة معنوية? Is it clear? Everyone following? So now this is what we're saying here. إذا كان المضاف اسما غير شبه الفعل. If the مضاف is a noun which is not a شبه الفعل, meaning what's a normal kitab, qalam, mic, microphone, heater, light, misbah, bab, nafidha, any of these that we call this is not shibul fa'il, a normal noun. You call the إضافة معنوية, basically إضافة لفظية ومعنوية. It's إضافة لفظي and معنوي, but we don't have to add the word lafzi. It's called إضافة معنوي, meaning an actual إضافة which gives the meaning of إضافة. وإذا كان المضاف شبه الفعل. If the مضاف is a شبه الفعل, يسمى إضافة لفظية فقط. It's called only إضافة لفظية, not معنوية, but we don't put the فقط and we say it's called إضافة لفظية. It's a structural إضافة only. نحو صوم المسلمين. The Muslim is a فاعل and this is a مفعول فيه. Do you understand? Yeah? Does that make sense? Everybody following? So that's the first word. So the first type of ismun amil, well, is the ismun ta'malu, the harfun amil, the ismun amil, sorry, which govern the nouns are the ta'malu amal al-fa'il and la ta'malu amal al-fa'il. The ones that la ta'malu amal al-fa'il, you have the mudaf and you have an ismul mubham. What's an ismul mubham? An ismul mubham is any noun. An ismul mubham is any noun in which we have some sort of ambiguity. What do we have? Any sort of ambiguity, like you need more clarification. فَهُوَ يَنْسِبُ تَمْيِيزَهُ. This makes the tamyiz mansub. So the word after it becomes mansub. For example, رَمَضَانُ ثَلَاثُونَ يَوْمًا. Ramadan is 30 days. So ثلاثون is the ism mubham. Why? Because when it says ثلاثون, is it 30 ساعة, 30 سنة, 30 يوما, 30 شهرا? What is it? 30 how many? So you need kind of a clarification. So this is the amil and this governs this. Is that clear? Okay. Another example, kam yawman sumta. So even kam, how many? How many days did you fast? Yes. So even here then, kam yawman sumta. That's also ambiguous. Come, how many, what? How many days, how many hours, how many times? So then we have to hear, it has a tamiz as well. Are you following? Yes? Any questions before we move on to the I'rab? Okay. So, Sawmul Muslimin. So we have Sawmul Muslimin in here. What would happen here? Al-Muslimin becomes a fa'il, because what? Sawm is the masdar, isn't it? So then that becomes a fa'il, marfu'un muhallan majrurun bil ya'i lafzan. So this is the masdar, this is the fa'il. And in terms of I'rab, this is mudaf ilayhi. Understood? And Sawmu Ramadan becomes what? Maf'ul fihi. So mansub mahallan because maf'ul fi of the masdar. But then it's majrurun bil fathati lafzan because it's a mudaf ilayhi. Ramadanu 30 yawman. You say Ramadan mubtada, marfu'un bil dhamma. 30 is a khabar, marfu' bil waw. What would yawman become? Yawman will become what? The tamyiz, mansubun bil fathati. Good? Kam yawman sumta. You say kam. It's maf'ulun fi muqaddam. Yes, we'll do the i'rabs of the ism al-istifham. You've already done it in the first lesson in Arabic in detail, but we'll have it again when we do the asma al-istifham later on. So kam ism, so is it called istifham? It's mabniya lil-fath, but it's mansub mahallan, because basically sumta is maf'ul fi, isn't it? It's maf'ul fi muqaddam. So it's asking about the maf'ul fi. So wherever surat the ism al-istifham replaces, it takes that in i'rab. I mean, this already in the first lesson in Arabic. So maf'ul fi muqaddam, and then yawma becomes the tamyiz of that, and then sumta becomes the fa'il madi and the fa'il, etc., etc. Understood? Any questions from anybody? Yeah? Okay. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.